Just turning the vibrational healing frequencies off on my phone, otherwise you're going to have a buzz in the background. There we go. Almost there. There we go. No, there's one still going. You won't hear that. That's fine. So, I need a smoke. I need a smoke. I've run out of tobacco and I've been smoking a tobacco mix with hops, herb, and two different types of tobacco. A strong tobacco, a weak tobacco, and hops. And I've made my normal strong tobacco go 4 times as far with it. And I worked out the maths. And it only costs twice as much, but you get 4 times as much. Okay. This has to stop. My Mac screen has to stop. My computer screen has to stop. I'm looking at that and not at the camera. There's little messages and I get distracted. So let's see if I can turn it ever so slightly to the camera. I'm not in the best place, if I'm honest. No, I'm not in the best place. Not in a good place at all. I don't know what to say. Where I am is undescribable. But there is a really good way I can describe it. And I'll put it on in music. So we're going to have to do iPhone to speaker to play this music in the background. And I'll find it. And this music is by a teacher that I've claimed in this life. I've claimed him. I've never met him. I went to his retreat center in France, but he wasn't there at the time. And yeah, I mean, it's weird. Today was his 3-year anniversary. I believe it was 3 years or 4 years. 4 years. I believe it's his 4-year anniversary. And I'm talking about him today just by chance. It's the Thich Nhat Hanh, the last Thich Nhat Hanh. To my understanding, the Thich Nhat Hanh is a bit like the Dalai Lama. Once the last one dies, they appoint a new one, or a bit like the Pope. But he's Thailandese. He's from Thailand. I don't know what. Thai. He's just Thai. How did the Thai get away with that? They shorten it. Everybody else makes it longer, don't they? British. British. Americans, that's pretty long. Dutch. No, that's a shorter one. Germanic. But Thailand, it's just Thai. You're Thai. So, Thai, ironically, no, oh my God, my brain. He's got two appointed names, and I don't know which way around it is. Basically, it's Thai, but not spelt T-A-I. It's spelled T-H-A-Y, I believe. And also the Thich Nhat Hanh. Either way, one of those titles is a bit like the Dalai Lama or Pope for something. I want to give him a bit more respect, but I take the mick out of a lot of the spiritual teachers with the stuff that doesn't matter, because you just got to listen to their wisdom. And when you do, It's all there in simplicity. If you're somebody like me trying to be a spiritual master and you're hearing lots of complicated, that's not a spiritual master. No, that's just Gabriel or another dumb idiot pretending to be a spiritual master. A real spiritual master is like so simple. It's like, what have I missed? What have I missed here? It can't be that simple, surely. I've got to be missing something. And well, Ty, the Thich Nhat Hanh, is a bit like that, was a bit like that. Really simple teachings. And this is not him, music. It's him, it's his voice, but they've put music over it and they've made it into a track. Let's see if we can find it. And I've listened to this over and over, thousands of times. Here we go. I don't know how clear this is going to come out. Oh, no, just not my microphone. Probably not clear at all. Well, I've also just disconnected the camera. Okay. This is fun. Bear with me a moment. Let's see if we can get this back and going. As you can tell, I'm a slight mess today. There we go. We're back. We're back with music. I'll leave this one in the background. I imagine you can hear that. It's right next to the microphone. This is my cousin's Christmas present, my part of it. I haven't given a single Christmas present this year, and it's the middle of January, of course, because Christmas is in December. So last Christmas, I didn't give a single Christmas present. And it's an alarm. It's still going off today. Peaceful music is interrupted. It's the middle of January. And Christmas was about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. I haven't been able to open our Christmas presents. The best estimate I had was the middle of, no, the beginning of February when they would be delivered. It's probably been pushed back about 6 weeks overnight. So I won't tell you what happened, but my life wasn't in a great place. Yes, it was. So this is the Thich Nhat Hanh speaking. Understanding come to their heart, and they transcend the path of sorrow and death. And that's the message. Peace be to everybody. Overcome sorrow and death. It's a really serious message today. Really, really serious. Is it a spiritual message? Is it a life message like just being human? The question of sanity and insanity overcomes suffering and death. I'm a bit pissed off at. I call him Titch. I've got nicknames for all the spiritual masters. And the Thich Nhat Hanh has a THICH in it. And if you look at it quickly, it just looks like Titch. So I shorten it and I call him Titch when I speak to him in his head. And the miracle happens. A beautiful child is in the heart of the Lord. I've been thinking about this message. One single drop of this compassionate over the past 24 hours or so as my life is flat. It really has crashed. He was in a bad, bad place yesterday with the live stream and a coat and a mess of a flat and a mess of a living. At the moment, I'm in oblivion. I don't know where these words are coming from. I do not know where any expression on my face or my body is coming from. I am emotionless. This is just YouTube voice. Gabriel YouTube voice. Let me try and get Gabriel real voice on so I can show you what it means to work in this world. What it means to work. I don't think I can because I'm in oblivion. I don't know where to look to find myself. So we'll continue talking and see if we can figure that out later on. Um, and it's a very simple message if you listen to it. It's called the Great Bell Chart. It's available on YouTube to listen to. It's just like someone who knows, someone who is a spiritual nurse looking over the planet. The rest of us idiots who are very, very dumb, very, very dumb. It's like, from our perspective, why on earth would anybody want to be a spiritual master? You've got to give everything away. You've got to spend years studying and dedication and this, that, and the other, one way or another. Sounds like a lot of hard work. And there's no official accreditations to be a guru, a yogi, a sage, a Sifu. Well, Sifu if you're doing martial arts, but spiritual Sifu, none. And yeah, a lot of people look at them funny because they believe in something that isn't science as a fundamental for life. Science is secondary or tertiary to a primary of spirituality, a primary of love, and a secondary of spirituality. When we listen to their messages from our mindset of just something a lot more complicated, man. Science is really complicated. I'm sorry. You got to get a patent to prove your work is legit, and you've got to do this, and you've got to do that, and you've got to do the other. It's like, come on, if all the scientists just got together one time, I said, look, let's just not fight. Let's all just get on the same team. It's all for planet Earth. It's all for humanity. Surely we can do better. This is ridiculous. This isn't breeding more better results for competitions. It's a complete insanity. There's so much red tape everywhere. No red tape with spirituality. No, no. I might call myself a spiritual master soon. There's no certification, but and that's the brilliant thing. And to this world, that seems mad. But look, if I start talking about spirituality and I call myself a spiritual master, and I say I can make fire just appear from my hand. Ah, it's gonna be a magic trick. I'll try it again. It's the RGB lights too. Pretty cool lighting, right? Pretty cool. This is the best lighter if you're a smoker. You don't want to get smoker's thumbs with your lighter. Smoking is about consideration of the lighter. But most of the time when we go to smoke, we really know the smokers. They really like smoking. It's a bit like eating. If you go to eat, you want to eat. You don't not want to eat most of the time. You want to eat. Smokers want to smoke. Most smokers are in a hurry to smoke. When they're smoking their lighter and they're pressing their lighter, I can't see one about to show you, but we really do press it. And this one's pretty cool. You just slide it at the side, get a few RGB lights, that's terrible. And you just, I'll do it again. The last time I'd prove it. Flick it, and it just flicks on. It's magic, man. That's brilliant. I've paid about under £10 for this. Was it £6 or £10? That is worth more than 10 disposable lighters for £1. I've really thought about lighters. That's the best value lighter for your health. Best value lighter for your health. AliExpress, if anybody's interested. I'm not posting um, links, but go and have a look. AliExpress, some sort of lighter. Um, and that's it. That's the music gone. That's the music finished. And it's gone into some sort of AI slop to better monk prayer music. That's basically where I'm at. Life is so bad. For me, it's like I question it. Is it hell? How much is it hell? What does it take for it to be hell? And I'm like, if it is hell, I know I've got a cushy hell. I know this isn't the worst hell ever or in the world, but it's a pretty goddamn bad, unbelievable hell. Abso- Absolutely, no two questions. It is ridiculous. And for me, it is. It is. But at the same time, I'm here with people. I'm here with human beings. And this hell, even though I label it hell for myself, not for anybody else, from my perspective, it's hell for me. Um, that's the point. Other people were here, and I can totally see from other people's point of view, it's not necessarily hell. And that way, this hell for me gets propped up and continues. And that's not the point. The point is I've got a cushy hell. It's not flames and pokers, hot pokers all the time, just sometimes. And most of the time you can go out there and work and do stuff, you can create stuff, you can make live streams. You get to choose some clothes and wear them. You get to choose some clothes. You don't get told what you have to wear, not for my hell. So that's not a bad hell. So I understand the dynamics of what it is that constitutes my hell to a little bit. In other words, I haven't gone, I did do it at first. I went, oh my God, this is hell. Ah! And I screamed a lot. I panicked. I went into terror mode for a little while. Then I burnt my boat down. Then I burnt my home down and boat. And life hasn't quite been the same since. But it's still hell, and it's even more concrete that it's really, really hell. That's when I first realised, and I panicked. I've gotten used to it now. It's been about 4 years, 4 or 4.5 years since I've had this perspective. And as a result, I've been able to assess what does it mean to be alive in this world? What is feasible? If, okay, Gabriel, you're in hell, what are the rules? Well, I know the rules to myself. I know there's a certain element of freedom, and this is where I really get scared. It's like I live for that freedom because that freedom is the eradication of hell. That freedom is the space to say the best that this hell can get. The best that this hell can get, that's what I'm making. That's what I want to live for. And as a result, if I can get to that level, we all claim immortality. And it sounds insane. It sounds insane. I appreciate that. It's not science. No, not science just yet. No, not your science just yet, but it's definitely spiritual science. It's definitely spiritual science, has been spiritual science for a long, long time. But for some reason, and the exact reason isn't, I'm not aware of the exact reason, we're in a process as a collective where that hasn't been accessible to us. And that's all about to change in the coming few years. And all we've got to do, no matter how bad it gets for ourselves, is just say, oh, sod it. Sod it. There's 8 billion people in this world and my life is bad. It's a lottery. Do I want to spin the lottery again and possibly end up somewhere in, well, Thailand? Thailand ain't easy, man. The the Thich Nhat Hanh Tich, he got I was gonna say expelled when you have to leave the country, otherwise they're gonna chuck you in prison. And he's just a monk. So he left Thailand. Thailand? Oh my god, I've gone mad. Vietnam. He's Vietnamese. It's Thai. His name is Thai, and I thought of Thailand, but no, he's Vietnamese. Forgive me. I'm not with it today at all. So I could have been Vietnamese. What would it be like to grow up in Vietnam? Or what if we get the short straw and end up in Ukraine or Russia if they haven't sorted the peace deal out yet? I haven't watched the news. And we end up in a war zone. Or we end up somewhere in famine. Or we just end up somewhere without the luxuries that we have here. The same family, the same friends. And that's the first thing. That's the lottery that we've got to think about. If life gets too bad, I say, I just want to quit. I just want to sod it. It's terrible. I don't care if I end up as what's a really bad life in this world. Someone from Gaza, Palestine and Gaza, that must be a pretty bad life at the moment. Early 2026. Sudan doesn't sound like a nice place to be. Africa has been ripped apart by the ridiculous rich powers of the West, and it's a tragedy. From what I understand, it must have been like once upon a time. So there are a good few places you just don't want to end up. Not to say I wouldn't want to end up in Africa. I want to move to Africa. I want to get out of flipping Europe. But in honesty, I don't want a lucky dip, do I? I want to say I'm going to move to. I'm going to have to move to a city because that's all I know. But I'd love to move to the countryside. It's just like, God, I can barely imagine me moving continent to a new country, new language, new everything, and then I've got to just deal with the countryside. No, I've got projects to do, I've got work to do, so I need to be in the city. So I'm saying I could end up in rural Africa. I mean, if I ended up in the right place in rural Africa, that'd be cool. Like, not the the Maasai warriors. They just jump all day long and they're called the Maasai warriors and they're so happy. And all they do is jump. They jump really, really high. That'd be cool. I wouldn't mind that at all, but a lot of Africa has been ripped to shit, man. And I might end up somewhere that's been ripped to shit, and that's a good chance given how bad the idiots in the West have treated Africa. So that's the first consideration. It's a lottery, it's a lucky dip. And the second consideration is, well, we're going to basically have to start again from from scratch, from zero. And we're going to go for a few years of dopey as a baby, and then hit toddlers and children, and we're going to be dopey and dopey and dopey. And essentially everything that we know now, that we think now, gets wiped, and it gets simplified down to like an energy and a polarization and a little bit of consciousness, so a little bit of thinking in relation to that. And that runs on autopilot in our spirit, in our soul, in us, connected to us, and perpetuates our future. In other words, this life just gets bottled up, added to the list, and synthesized into an energy. And that's really crap, because we end up like brand new, fresh, and we've got to learn everything again. So not only is it a lucky dip where we end up in the world in terms of a country, but what about a family? I know my family, and they're good, but they're also really terrible. And where they're good, they're really good. It's like they're the best, but where they're terrible, they're the absolute worst. It's like one level, I want to get rid of them. But on another level, I can't, because I can't imagine me in a new family, starting again. Yeah, sure, most parents love their children, but in relation to the experience everybody has, it might be just really weird. It might not be the great, same, perfect, or if it's been a terrible experience for us, it might just be a terrible experience again. There are a lot of messed up people in this world. New cultures to think about. Choices, freedoms. And we've got to learn all of that again, risk it all again, find the warrior spirit to overcome whatever it is that wants us to get out of this life, and just say, I can't take it anymore. I just need to start afresh and start afresh. But the thing is, we're under immense amounts of new programming, parents, friendships, the culture, the education system we have access to, the freedoms we have access to. And it's like, it's almost guaranteed, if we're not happy here, we're going to find something there not happy, unless we get really, really lucky on the lottery. And well, to my best wisdom, and this is me, unfortunately, spirituality to me says this world has the potential for immortality really, really soon. And it's like maximum in my head, I'm working to a 30-year time frame with a possible 15, but it could be 50 or 60. So I could be 100 when it kicks in, but I'm going to live to 100, no doubt. The point is, it's likely to be 15 or 30 years. And if you think about it, everything that a child goes through in the first 15 years of their life is just not them. It's the world putting it on them again. Them just receiving the luck of the draw. And that to me sounds like, oh my God, I can't deal with that waste, man. Having to relearn everything, and it would take a solid 15 years. I can't do that, man. Turn up as Opie again. I'm on a lottery. No, if it's a terrible situation, I need to be there and say, look, parents, thanks for popping. Thanks for the welcome party, but no, I can't do this. I'm leaving. Thank you. But you can't do that as a 1 day old, as a 1 hour old, can you? You're not able. You can only begin to make those realizations and contemplations maybe 15 years later. But you have a think about it for a few years, and you're 18, 20 anyway. It's time to leave home in most of the world, some of the world. So I'm locked into infinity. This is like ultimate stoic philosophy here. Stoicism. I understand that it's like There's suicide. What happens after suicide? It's so bad. It's so bad. I can't commit suicide. I can't. I can't commit suicide. I'm here and I just don't want to be here, man. I don't want to be here. Suicide's wrong. Nobody should commit suicide. But I've got to label this and we'll call this one stoicism. So we want to die. Stoicism is like you want to die, but it's so bad you're not going to. And well, you're miserable your whole life. Stoic sounds so bloody miserable. Well, my philosophy sounds pretty miserable, but it's practical. I just thought about it practically. It's not stoicism, it's practicalism. I couldn't contemplate 15 years of starting again from scratch, man. I used to work in retail and I worked in the stock rooms and I was really good. I'm organized. I'm autistic, so I've got OCD tendencies and it comes naturally to me. I'm on point in there. And I don't know what the man was thinking, but I was working in one shop and there was a sister shop just around the corner. And sometimes I worked in there. And I spoke to the manager of the other store and he wanted me to come in and work for him. And my stockroom was all organized. His was a massive mess. A massive, massive mess. And he wanted me to leave my stockroom that is organized and come and start again from the very beginning and clean up his massive mess. And if you could have seen the difference in stockrooms, it was unbelievable. No, 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 I'm okay. I'm okay. I like to keep on top of things. That's my attitude. If I've got a stockroom that's working, nope. I've got a system here. I am good. No way. Unless I'm getting paid more, it's a better stockroom, better clothes. Something's got to be better. And a mess, a bigger mess and starting again isn't better. So what are we going to call this one? The stockroom, not Stockholm syndrome. The the stockroom philosophy. Stockroom philosophy, yeah. And it goes stoicism, ST, something with it. Stockroom philosophy. But look, I don't know what I mean to you in the future. I don't know when you pick up on me, but I'm here to change the world in a good few ways. And if you don't believe it by the time you watch this video, just stay tuned and it might start to come through to you. Yeah, I might even start to talk a little normal science when it comes to staying alive forever. Just hold, just bear with me. Just bear with me. As I said, I'll give you a little clue. I was playing some vibrational healing frequencies today, and they really help. They really do help. And I know how to use them like nobody else. I don't think there's a soul on the planet that uses vibrational healing frequencies like me. I think I've tapped them. Not only that, I have a promise of a lot of money in my future. And I have an understanding of the technologies to a basic functional level. And where I have money in the future is through code. Code. So artificial intelligence, real good artificial intelligence. If we get all of those combined together, well, I'll leave it up to you. I'll leave it up to you. So the end of suffering and the end of death. Titch had to go. It was his choice. It was his decision. He was old. He was a warrior. He was fighting for a few years. I didn't know his exact condition, but I knew. When I tuned in, I could see, he was getting old. I mean, he must have been 90 odd. I don't know how old he was. He had a really good innings. as they say in England. He had a good innings. And he had the saying, a cloud never dies. It just transmutes, it changes form, and then returns like in about a million other clouds, all the little droplets. Maybe it turns up in a river. And I think Teacher was saying that for himself. Don't worry, my life, I have to go and come back. But that's not necessary for all of us. And our job is, one way or another, to overcome the mentality of suffering and death. Just to be as real as possible with it on a simple level. If you do nothing else, just to be as real as possible with that. And to know there's a few loving souls in this world. Just a few. I mean, there's many, there's many loving souls, but the world says hide your love, and that's disgusting. So the masses of people hide their love. And we rarely hear of love, and then a spiritual master maybe doesn't talk of love. Titch didn't talk of love too much. He wasn't afraid to. He wrote books on love. I bet if I read that book on love, I would learn tons on love. But I'm not too much into books. I don't read too many books at the very moment, but I've got a book here that I bought, and I'm looking at it, and I just know it's a good book. Not because of anything I would hear or read. Because when I read it, the way I read the words, they sound like an energy. And it's a Taoist book, The Dragon Gates Core Methods. I have no idea what it's about. Nope. Not no. It's about some Taoist teacher who went and gave a talk in the 1600s or something and said something. And that was enough for me to buy this book. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to read this book. And I just don't get a chance to read books. Why? Not because I'll learn anything. Because whilst I'm reading whatever I'm reading, I could pick any page and start reading. After I've read a few paragraphs, the words, the energy, even if they don't make sense, have a tone. And that tone with Taoism is just bliss, man. It's bliss. It's like none of it makes sense. Confucius was a bit Taoist, but he made his own thing called Confucianism. I don't really know the details. I don't really read and study and research, but I know a few bits of detail. I watched the movie on Confucius. That's what I did. Didn't really make sense. I should have read some books, but I know little bits. And I know that whatever it was, Confucius was Taoist. And when you hear Confucius, it sounds confusing most of the time, and that's Taoism. But if you listen to the confusion, it's like it's rewiring your brain at the same time through using different points on a scale of reference. That's the best way I can call it. So it's like you're describing something and you're describing it in two such conflicting ways almost. It's confusing. And that's Confucianism, and that's very much Taoism. But within that, there's so much to be gained. It makes a space for oneself that they can just hear words, just hear words, and not need to think too much about what they mean. But you go off almost like on a journey with those words, just exploring ideas of what they could mean. And within that, we find the idea of what it could mean for ourselves. No real definite. Not for me. I'm an idiot. Some people read it and they get definite, but um, it's just the tone and energy, man. I know if I sit down and read that book and I tap into the tone of Taoism, my body's just gonna go, oh my God. I don't know if I just smoked the best joint ever or that was Taoist because my God, the energy feels amazing from words, just words, and they don't have to make sense. It's better if they don't. That's Gabriel's take on Taoism. Forget everything that it teaches and just steal the goddamn energy. Find whatever energy it means to you, and you're rocking Taoism. We're making Taoism 2.0. We're all the Taoists in the world. They've all stolen the energy. That's why there's loads of them, and they're all fucking thieves. They're all fucking thieves. All the Taoists in the world. Um. So yeah, my life. I am in oblivion at the moment. I'm in oblivion. I am soulless. I am not here. And oh, one more thing. My uncle was a proper Taoist who read books and understood the books. And that's where I get my wisdom from. He like molded me in the shape of Taoism. And he's basically said to me, just get it, Gabriel. You get it, you understand it. The words, they're pretty. You know energy, Gabriel. Well, he didn't say Gabriel ever. I was called and I was called Andreas once he was alive, but in Greek it's Andrea. So he knew me as Andrea and it would have been Andrea. Just you get energy, Andrea, don't you? You get energy. You get energies, yeah? You get the words. The words are pretty and they half make sense to you. I know you're a bit dumb. Stay dumb. That's good. Believe me. Believe me. That's my uncle to me, and I just knew it. I'm gonna rock out in being dumb, and I'm wise as a result. And the best I can synthesize whatever it was that he said to me and gave to me and imparted on me in terms of Taoism, because I don't know shit. No, read the Tao Te Ching many times, and it's just the same, exactly how I described it. It's like a rewiring of the brain if you just trust the author. But one tip of advice my uncle gave was if anybody's gonna read Taoist literature, especially in English, to use the Thomas Cleary translations. And yeah, that's Taoism. Taoism in a nutshell, go and steal it. It's there to be stolen. But this time, because I've told you just steal it, told you bluntly, this is what you're gonna do. You're not lying to yourself. You're not just gonna put it in your inside pocket and keep it in your to yourself your whole life and secretly be a Buddhist or a Jew or a Christian. A lot are Taoist and all of those. My uncle was Christian, but he was more Taoist than anything. Um, yeah, you're gonna steal it and you're gonna steal it good. You're gonna steal it real good. And when you steal it real good, you're gonna get so much from it. As for being dumb, that's your prerogative. my disposition, I believe, said could have been the reason. It could have been a case of, no, you're never gonna make it. You're never gonna make it. You're not gonna understand these, man. Just stay dumb. Just stay dumb. So it might have been personal guidance for me. And I see the route my uncle laid out for me, and I just get on with it. Is it ideal for everybody? I don't know. Some people were thinkers. Some people like to read books. I like to read books, but I can't. My life doesn't allow it. If my life allowed it, may be a bit different. But when you read it and you're that way normally, don't try to fight it in terms of putting it in a box. Leave some things just not making sense and trust yourself to the author. Give something to the author. Show them some respect that, yeah, you're a student to what they're teaching, and that they have more wisdom than you, and your best estimation is this or that or the other in relation to what they've just said. And you don't know. You don't know. It could be any of them. You don't know. And you're never playing the game that, they're a bit dumb. They don't really know because they know. They know what they're talking about. That's never in question. So it's never questioning the author. And well, as I said, from my perspective, it's just one big thievery. The whole world stealing from Taoism. Um, Lost my coffee cup. How? There we go. So my job is to find a way to realistically continue upon my life after it keeps crashing further and further and further in the opposite direction as I'm trying to do more and more in the correct direction. And as I get nearer to getting on top of things and in control of things each time, it magically disappears from me or has done. And I've had to stop in the past 24 hours and say to myself, oh my God, how far can life take this? And I've looked at it realistically and it's not pleasant. It really isn't. Not at all. And I don't know how to get through the next week. I don't know how to get through the next day. I don't know how I've got through the last day. I really don't. It is that bad in my mind. I just need to sort it out. I'm in sheer terror at the moment. Nothing less. Um, and yeah, cheers. Oh, I just got paid again, apparently. I just got paid again. Last time I disclosed what I got paid by my last my last employers. I claim I've been employed by the Pleiadian alien race since I was 17. And I was making some Rick Simpson oil. Rick Simpson cannabis oil is really good for cancer, healing cancer and other cures. And I've been making it with CBG hemp also, and I want to make it with CBD. But I was making the real stuff and I had it on evaporation. So it was drying out the alcohol in it. It's really easy to make. It might sound a bit daunting if you're interested, but it's a really simple process. And I was leaving it to air dry, and I came back and I saw some CBG hemp in there, and I'm like, I don't remember putting that in there. And I'm just trying to remember if I put that in there now. I might have put it in there actually. I don't know. I thought it was pay from my last employers because I quit recently. My life got so bad. I said, "Fuck you." I quit. So I don't work for them anymore. And I thought that was my severance pay, considering I've only been paid about eight iodine supplement tablets, to my recollection, since the age of 17. That's not good, is it? I'm just turned 40. So in 23 years, I've been paid eight iodine supplements to my waking awareness. And I thought I've got some I've got this ongoing joke with I've got this ongoing joke with them that they just sit there in the sky smoking marijuana all day long, watching us on planet Earth. I used to have a poster in my room when I was a teenager of an alien on the wall, and it said, "Take me to your dealer." I'm really not one for um, narcotics or highs or anything. Naturally, I'm very, very cautious of anything like that. That's how I was brought up. That's where my mindset was. When people wanted to start smoking tobacco, I was like, please, please, please don't offer it to me. Please don't offer it to me. I held out as long as possible with weed. I just couldn't until I couldn't and I gave in. But it's great medicine, cannabis, in the end, and that's how I use it. I don't like getting stoned. I don't like the feeling of stoned. I know cannabis very well. It's a really good plant if you can use it well. Um, and yeah, I quit. My life is so bad. I said, sod it, fuck you, I quit. And I was joking with them one day, and I said, well, I'm smoking with them in my head. I said I'm smoking with you in my head. I've just been up to the spaceship or something, and I just had some of the best Taiwanese weed. Yeah, not Thai weed, not Thai weed. I went back to Thailand. Not Thai weed. No, no, that's not what they smoke. They smoke Taiwanese weed. Yeah, weed from Taiwan. Taiwan. Weed from Taiwan. You wouldn't think of weed from Taiwan, but that's what they're smoking up there. That's what came out that day. And I looked at it and I said, "What? Is that Taiwanese weed, guys? Is that my pay?" And I've realized, no, I might have just put some in earlier and forgotten about it. I know, I know. So it's okay. I've got about 4 or 5 new jobs in my head. I'm talking to the Syrians at the moment. The Syrian alien race. The Thetans popped up the other week. They're not pleasant. I don't like the Thetans. I don't get on with Thetans. My dad was Thetan. My uncle's Thetan. The spiritual master of mine is Thetan. Sadiq Khan, the London mayor, is Thetan. Not my cup of tea, but it's not their fault, to be honest. They just are like that because of the world. Absolutely. They're all good people. I don't deny that. But if you put me one in a room with one of them, we're likely to argue. I'm not going to be happy. I'm going to want to leave. So Yeah, I've been given about four spiritual jobs. I don't know which one pays the best. I might quit one or two. I've got to see what the working hours are, the conditions are. I never checked that on my last job. They just turned up one day and said, well, they didn't say, I just said, oh, I'm reporting back to aliens now what I see on planet Earth at the age of 17. In my head, happily walking under the underpass home from college. That's me, that's my life. Yes, that happened. I was in a very ecstatic mood that day, very heightened state of consciousness. I'm a Libran, I'm an air sign, so my head was in the sky from the off, and I guess it was high enough to be talking to people. But Pleiadians have got a good energy. Pleiadians have got the best energy. They're a little bit crazy and mad, but they've got good energy, Pleiadians. I'll tell you about the different races in the future, what they look like in human form, and what I understand of them as the differences between human form and their natural form, and their just the little bits of information I've pieced together as possibilities of reality. Um, at the moment, I don't have a reason to go forwards. I don't have a reason to go forwards. I have a promise of hundreds of billions of pounds in my future, if so I so wish it, if not more. That is the absolute truth. I have infinity as an immortal being shared with the planet. What else is in my future? Love for the first time, however bad it's going to be in the finality. I've never really experienced love. I've had a girlfriend, but I wasn't in love. It was for 3 months. So that's still on the cards for me. So I've got that to look forward to and everything that goes with that. So that's a good thing, but my hopes aren't up. I'm a bit depressed about it. I was like, oh, I love this great thing, but it's not once you understand people. And once you understand people, it's like you might as well just have a friend. It's easier to deal with, or just get a dog, but I could deal with talking to people more, so I'll get a friend. I can't look after a dog in my current condition. And to be honest, I wouldn't want to keep a dog in this tiny flat. That wouldn't sit well with me. But anyway, um, I haven't got a reason to go forward. I've got my reasons. I've got a fantastic channel. I've got a future with so many different businesses and wealth. It's unbelievable. And I've been dreaming about businesses and wealth since I was a teenager after I was bullied at school. I've realized of all the good things that I can do with all those businesses for the world, for us all. And it's like, well, yeah, that's a piece of cake. That is just going to all happen. But I am so locked in the depths of my reality that this isn't heaven. This isn't heaven. That it's just so immense. And not only the reality, like a snapshot picture of a few months, but my immediate reality of the amount of hard work I have to do to get myself there in the first place from everything that's been on this channel for the last God knows how many years. That's me. That's where I've been. That's how disturbed I've been. I can't bear to think about watching back some of these videos. They're very, very emotionally conjuring to the places I was in at the time. I've been in some really deep places, And I've made live streams in those places, and they're all there. And if I have to watch them back, I have to connect to the memories, and that's a real challenge. That's a real hard slog to remember myself there. And I've still got a lot of hard work, an immense amount of hard work in front of me to make all of that happen. But I just don't want to come back as dopey. I don't want to come back as a dopey 1 day old. I just couldn't bear it, man. I couldn't bear it. I've contemplated suicide, and I've explored things there, and my final realization is that yeah, it's all about control at the end of the day. We want to control our situation. It's too much. Unspiritual. I believe we come back. And as a result, I've looked at those odds and I'm like, nah, I might as well stick this out and suck it up some way if I can. It's just the amount of hard work that's just been put on my plate, on top of, on top, on top, on top. How many times I've lost count is unwieldy. And it's like all of those dreams keep getting pushed back now. And they've been pushed back so many times. I'm like, oh my God, this experience that is very much a comfortable hell for me might be might be a real hell. Might be a real hell. Might be a case of, well, it's just a dream for you, Gabriel. It's just a dream. You're never going to reach it. You don't have any chance. You don't have a hope. You've got all the hope, and you're just going to realize real soon that you can't do it, and it's taken all away from you. All of that money, all of the gifts to humanity, all of the immortality, all of infinity, all of spirituality. There's no spirituality anymore. Long story, but there's spirituality. But all of the good things that I have in my future that I've been working, slogging for on some level my whole life, I'm destined for now. But it is so scary and so unbelievably scary. It's like all of that could just get taken away from me for no reason in the blink of an eye. And that's happened so many times. It comes back and gets taken away. And I'm just like, I don't know if I can continue anymore. I'm shaking, I'm wobbly, I can't take this. This is too scary. So that's really the place I'm in. And where I'm here, the feeling is to when life is in that position and it's so clear that it's like it's unfair. That's what it's like. Life is unfucking fair, man. It just doesn't have to be this bad. It's like, okay, I understand a certain amount, but come on. It really could have been so much easier, so much simpler, so much less suffering, but it hasn't been. And it has been the unexplainable, unspeakable event after event after event that just makes it bewildering. And it just stops one in its tracks. So I've got to figure out how I'm going to just get through this one at the moment. I've done this so many times over the years. But at the moment, I have really been knocked down. I thought I was in a bad place when I made the live stream yesterday in my jacket. And I've got the window open again today, the same thing. I'm just trying to cool down. I will switch the therapy machines on, crank them up. Um, I don't know how I'm going to get through because life is saying, I'm not fair. And you know, you've been patient. You haven't made a snap decision like a year ago when you could have done it. No, this time you haven't burnt your boat down. You have been patient and patient and patient and patient. And you read positivity to the situation as far as you could until the light of positivity got blown out, and then you're gripped in it. You're gripped in it. That's where I've been. I burnt my boat down the first time. Well, the first time not the first time. I went through a lot of more terrible times before the first time, a hell of a lot of terrible times, but it got to that extent that I was like, no, I can't take this life. No, no, you're not going to be doing all of these things to me and expect me to just carry on as I'm doing when it's so ridiculously bad in terms of my suffering on a physical, mental, emotional, psychological level. And I said, fuck it, life. Fuck it. That's it. I need to know what the fuck is going on. I burnt my boat down, went to hospital, and realised they're all fucking mad there. Mental health hospital, they're all fucking mad there, and I told them all off. I don't tell people off. I don't like telling people off, but I told them all off that time. All the staff. You expect the patients to be mad, don't you? And some of the patients are, and it's not the ones that look intelligent. It's the other way around, actually. And the staff just do not make sense the best part of the time, at least in this hospital. Um, so it's not something I want to go back to. It's not something I know I can get anything from. If I need to, I'll use it. If I can, I want to avoid it. So I know I've got to keep things calm, otherwise they get worse. But at the moment, it's like I need to tell life, no life, I can't take any more. And at the moment, I don't have any better options available to me. So I'm looking for change. I'm looking for transmutation. I'm looking for some sort of spark, some sort of new direction, something new to change the energy, to change the dynamics. So it's different, so it's better. And I've exhausted that. And I'm really clear on what it would take to get me to what Titch talked about, and that was going beyond suffering and death in a mental state. But I'm a little bit short of that because of the physical health condition I have. I need the support with regards to my physical health condition. And I've put it down to a financial figure, believe it or not. And my health condition can get a lot worse with that financial figure, and I'll still continue and do everything that I know of my future. I have as a potential. At the moment, I need to throw my life in the bin. That's how it feels. And that's the first thing in front of me. That's the first clear thing that I know. Oh no, it's just that bad. I need to call it my whole life. Nothing has value. Not the money, not the love, not the fame, not the spirituality. Nothing. But you're not an idiot. I lived on a boat by myself. I burnt my boat down and I didn't hurt anybody. Maybe a fly or a mouse that was in my boat, or a family of mice that I couldn't deal with. Don't ask, it just added to the pressure, believe me. And I live in a flat. I'm not stupid. I'm not gonna 5% battery for internet. Um I live in a flat. I'm not going to do something stupid when I say I'm going to throw my life in the bin. I'm not going to harm another soul. They've done nothing. Even if they've done something, I'm not violent. I never want to harm anybody in the first intentions. Um, so yeah, burning your home down, do not do it. Do not do it. Do not do it. Do not do it. It doesn't feel good when you look back on it and you realize you burnt your home down. USB now. This is a USB, this is a USB. Okay, internet has power. Internet isn't going to run out. But smoke has run out. We need more smoke. Let's light some white sage in the meantime. For no reason. For no reason. Just so cool. So cool. So cool. So cool. I took too long. That's why. So cool. There we go. Some white sage. Just help us enter the present moment, white sage. Oh, we got a fire. We were just talking about fire. I did not think. But it's not for the fire we're doing it. No, not for the fire, but for the smoke, for the beautiful smell. It helps one enter the present moment like nothing else. Possibly tobacco. Tobacco and white sage. That's like Red Indians might as well be Rastafarians in my mind. White sage and tobacco. That says Native American Indian. And in Gabriel's mind, white sage plus tobacco might as well equal marijuana. Might as well equal marijuana. This is the best stuff. The best stuff. If you want to pretend you're spiritual, get some white sage. And when you're doing it, it's not white sage. It's not sage. No. You're doing sacred smudging. Yeah, sacred smudging. Why? Because you're cleansing energy fields at the same time. And I forget that so much that it cleanses energy fields. I forget that all the time. I just like the smell, man. It just says, hey, Gabriel, you've just slowed down a bit, man. Well done. Well done, Gabriel. Thank you, White Sage. Well done. White Sage. Well done. I know. I know. Gabriel just burnt his finger because it's White Sage, and White Sage cheered him up. Um, well, let's make one with the Taiwanese. The Taiwanese weed. Courtesy of the Pleiadians sitting in the sky that are not allowed to watch me anymore. Nope, not allowed. They're not allowed. I've put. What do sports stars have? Pers, pers, Personality rights, persona rights, something rights linked to their personality. That's what I've claimed. That's what I've claimed to them. Nope. If you want to watch me now, you got to pay me good. You got to pay me big time. Yep, that's the law. Not watching Gabriel anymore. No, they've. I've quit. I've quit. I've quit. That's another thing. Oh, filter papers. I don't like doing this. It's not the same quality, and I'm really sensitive about the filters. I use these little books for my smoke. Um, what to say. How will it go for me? How will it go? I'm so scared. I'm so scared. But what do I want from everything? Not to burn my life down, not to tell life, no, you're being mean. Just to find a better solution, better way, find a way forward. Get at myself out of this, patch it up and get on with my future. Our future. A long future. Um, I don't know if I can. I really have to take it down to the absolute nitty gritty detail at the moment. That's how it seems. I've got to really think about it at absolute level. Absolute levels, like it doesn't make sense so much to me in the moment. When I go to do something, the way I normally go about doing something, choosing to do something, is often for practical reasons. I'm a very, very practical person. I don't know if that spawns from my autism, spawns from my father. He was very OCD, but maintained it. You know, it was functional. It was very, very of this world. It wasn't out of place, but clear to me it was OCD. And get my life back on track somehow. I've barely done anything but fight my mental health, try and understand my mind, my life, my body. For the last 15 odd years or so, I've done very little in terms of enjoyment. And I want to just do some fun stuff, some creative stuff, like nothing else. But when I think about doing them when my life is not as bad as it is now, it's like, oh, why am I going to do it? Because I can make some money off this one. This one's just a bit of fun. I don't need to be serious about that. This one's for the channel. This one's to get a message out there. This one is for the coding project. It's to make money. This one is because of this. Instead of it being just present moment, you know, present moment, just sitting down and doing some drawing or coloring in for no reason. I'm very far away from that, but I'm very close to creative projects. But the creative projects all rest on my future, and my future might as well not be here. And I'm like going at these projects without a future, and it's like, if I do that, that's a mental health disorder, unless I'm really, really clear. So I'm unlikely to get on with any of the creative projects in any great depth anytime soon. And each time I go to do anything creative like this video, like this live stream, is to just be present. You know, do I want to absolutely do this at the moment? Because I don't know if the world will exist in 10 days because it's so fucking mad at the moment. Not that I'm going to do anything stupid. I'm going to go for better always. But it's so ridiculous. The world might just disappear. I don't know. Everyone might just disappear. I might be left alone. I really don't know. It might be like 28 days later. I'm walking down London by myself. It is so mad at the moment. Um, the last bit of Taiwanese weed they gave me was really good. Was really good. I really enjoyed it. I was like, you guys have got the best stuff up there. I don't get fancy. I don't get fancy. I don't like saying it on YouTube. It's not good. What are we gonna call it? It's Rick Simpson oil. It's medicinal. It's cannabis, but it's made into an oil, and it's really, really healing. And I don't necessarily buy expensive stuff. In fact, I buy the opposite. The bits that fall on the floor, they've got a name for it, and that's the stuff I buy, and it actually makes really good Rick Simpson oil. That's the not necessarily the perfect stuff for Rick Simpson oil. You might want a better quality, but when you're on a budget, it's fantastic, and that's what I use. So this is the big pack of tobacco that I diluted down with some hops and some other tobacco earlier, and it's not that deep. This is the pack I normally buy. It's a big pack of tobacco. I smoke a lot of tobacco. It's not good. This much tobacco isn't good. I've just worked out using this formula, at least I'll be able to save on money, a lot of money, 50% of the money, and hopefully, and also a little bit less tobacco because I put hops in it, which I really like hops in tobacco. And the other tobacco I use is actually my preferred tobacco. Don't ask why I'm not smoking my preferred tobacco at the moment, but I'm smoking the deeper tobacco at the moment. And what I fancy is the deeper tobacco, but I've been smoking this for the past day. And at the moment, I just bought some deeper tobacco from across the street. And the one I buy, both this one, it's not advertising, I don't get paid for this, Pueblo. And it's not the classic. I don't like the classic. It's got a funny taste. You can buy those in shops. And they've also got a blue version. The blue version's a bit deeper. It's a bit cheaper than American Spirit, but they're about the same price now. And I've just bought some American Spirit Blue. The deeper one is blue. They both have a yellow option, which is lighter. And I'm having American Spirit now. What's the point? They're both additive free. What is additive free? No chemicals. What is the point of no chemicals on your tobacco? Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. They've got horrible pictures on these packets. I won't show you them because they're that horrible. And they say to smokers, this is what happens as a result of tobacco. And I say, well, yeah, but all tobacco has additives in it. What about the additive-free stuff? And they say it goes on all the tobacco. And I said, yeah, but what about the additive-free stuff? It just goes on all the tobacco. Okay, okay. So I don't know where that leaves me. It's like, it might as well be called organic. That's no chemicals, might as well be natural, which means organic, whether it's been certified or not. I don't know if you can have an organic tobacco. But to me, additive free means organic. So either way, it's got to be better than just your standard tobacco. So I'm doing my best to be as healthy about this as possible. And I've got a game plan to get off this. I need to know that I can be without tobacco at least for a month before I return to it. Have a bit of breathing space without tobacco as a necessity in any way for about a month. Just for my mind. Just for my mind. And if I do that for my mind, I know my body's in a better place. And if I do that, I probably won't go back to it as much. And that's what I'm hoping to keep it a lot healthier. Because we don't know, I could argue it. Oh, additive free organic tobacco. Yeah, surely that's okay. The Red Indians have been doing that for years, but there's arguments left, right, and center. White could still be bad, and I really don't poo-poo it, but don't stick those bloody horrible pictures on the packets, man. You don't do that with anything else, do you? You don't do that with, man, I don't want to label them and worry people about all the different things that I'm aware of. aren't good for our health that we all do on a daily basis, that should, if if it made sense, all of them have similar labels. And that would be terrible, wouldn't it? You open up your kitchen cupboard and half the food has got people, well, parts of their body falling off and stuff. That's not nice, is it? You go to eat your porridge and on the label is somebody's left toe falling off because that's what happens with porridge. I don't know what happens with porridge, but I'm just joking with porridge. Porridge is fine, and that's why I picked porridge. Porridge hasn't got a problem unless you're gluten intolerant, then try gluten free. Otherwise, porridge is pretty okay. Pretty okay. Not the best, but it's not gonna do anything like that to you in a hurry. You can smoke as much porridge as you want. Gabriel tells you you're gonna be fine. Don't worry. You got Gabriel's certified promise. If you have any problems in your life as a result of smoking too much porridge, come to Gabriel and he'll make it all okay for you again. Why? 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 Oh, no, we did put it in. We put the Taiwanese weed courtesy of my old employers in, and now we've lost the lighter. What a life. What a life. It's a really gentle flame, and that's really what you want at the start of the smoke, man. See, with my health at the moment, I don't have the time in my nervous system to just be there present with stuff. I'm really aware of like meditation at a simple level of just sitting there and doing stuff and just being aware of my consciousness as how and what is going on. To some extent, and I've studied lighters and the normal click ones, they're not good for your sons. The roll ones, they're just like it's just not good, not good. And then you've got clicky ones, electric start ones, and some of them are really hard. Oh, you don't want a really hard one, no. You want it as soft as possible, man. As soft as possible, because when you start and you're about to smoke, you do not want any pain in your hands. You want that soft, and that is soft. I know people don't like it when people talk about smoking. It's a naughty subject, it's taboo. I've got a reason why I'm talking about lighters, and that's for the future. Not to do with tobacco. No. Maybe it's to do with magic tricks. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. At the moment, where I am, I've said I quit spirituality too. It's that bad. Go back and watch all these channels, all these videos on the channel. All I do is talk about depression, mental health, spirituality, my life, a little bit about the world, a little bit about more spirituality, a little bit about philosophy if people don't think that's spirituality, and there's been a little bit on AI and code and money. And that's it, like 7 areas of Gabriel's channel. And what spirituality has been and featured the most. If it wasn't there present in the words, that is what is going on in my mind and my heart more than anything, spirituality. All the time, all the way through. Whatever I'm talking about, I'm thinking about it in spirituality terms. And I've quit. I said, I can't take it anymore. Why? Because my life is so bad. everything that made sense to spirituality sort of just went, it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter anymore. Sure, my future is based upon those fundamentals of spirituality. I believe we're all going to become immortal. Not every single one of us. Some will not make that journey, but as a collective, we're on for immortality. We're on for ending Gabriel's hell perception in his head. One day, the world will not be viewed as hell by Gabriel. That's the mission. And Gabriel was really picky about the world, and that would take a lot for Gabriel to change his perception. And when it happens, I'll let you all know on a tweet or something. This one, I bought this extra for my cousins. They're girls. One's about to turn a teenager, and the other one's going to turn a teenager in a few years. I watched this movie a few years ago. It's called The Breadwinner. I don't know if that's back to front with courtesy of the camera, but it's called The Breadwinner. And it's such a simple movie. And it's a bit like what my life has become at the moment. And basically, what the movie says in the end is when you see the big scary monster, when you see the big scary monster, you tell it your stories, and you don't stop telling it your stories until you're safe. That's the message of the movie. It's a really good movie. It's animation. It's a real movie. It's like a real message. It's very appropriate in my mind to the world, a different perspective that I look at a lot. And yeah, I bought it for my cousin. I'm like, teenage girls in the UK just aren't going to watch this. They aren't going to watch this. And I'm like, what? I could tell my auntie to make them sit down and watch it, but my aunt is fucking insane. My aunt is insane, man. I spent £3.50 on this, and I want to send it to my cousins. If I send it to my cousins, they're going to just chuck it in the bin. I need to send it to my auntie so she can make them sit down and watch it at the time that their minds are in the correct place for a serious tone animated movie. And yeah, highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. I've watched very few movies in my life, my adult life. Since I've had my psychosis gets activated by movies a lot, and I just don't need the stress. I don't get much from them anyway. They're all big Hollywood blockbusters that have lost the art of movie making, man. They've lost the art of movie making. And the best movies are often, I find, for teenagers, like animated movies, mystical movies like Lord of the Rings. That's what gets my interest, like magical movies, movies about life and reality that are aimed at maybe, again, teenagers. That's where my mind is when it comes to movies. I can't handle the movies for adults. They're all too violent. They're all too sadistic. They're all too twisted and dramatic, man. And all the humor is just too bloody boring. You get a few gems, but yeah, I did miss it, you know. I was like, oh, I can't take it anymore. I don't watch movies. Everybody watches movies. I don't. And I'm in mental health hospital once. I met a Jewish guy. I live in a Jewish area, Hasidic Jews, so they dress like proper Jews. They all have the curly sideburns and I don't know the name of the hat. Apologies. That should be something I know. I'd really like to know that. Shame that I don't have live viewers to just tell me at the moment what the name is. I'll find out one day. I'll ask I'll ask one of them. It won't be difficult. I'll ask one tomorrow if I can find myself wherever I am in oblivion. If not the day after or sometime in the future. Um, and no, I'm not doing this for show. My light really does go out that much. Yes, not a jet lighter, not a windproof lighter. That's a very aggressive lighter. A very, very aggressive lighter. You click it and it's like you got a massive flame come out. And there is no way you can handle the energy of that intensity in your hand, thinking you're Mr. Cool if it's a really difficult click without it doing something to the quality of the smoke you're about to enjoy. Hence, some consideration when it comes to lighting the smoke improves the experience of smoking and your health, believe me. Uh, yes, Jewish man in mental health hospital. I met him. Real good guy compared to all the others. No real problems. I didn't notice any problems from him. He stayed in his room. He ate a lot of food. His parents bought him a lot of food, and I don't know how he ate all of that food, but he ate all of that food every day. And I spoke to him, and I can't remember what it is, but we were talking about books, and I recommended a book or something, and he turned around and said to me, I can't read that. I think he said his dad told him, do not read any books that aren't certified uh, kosher, essentially, appropriate for Jewish people. And I basically said to him, well, I get that a bit with movies. I get that a bit with movies. I can't watch movies. They all aggravate my psychosis. I don't mind reading a book. I can I can stop a book halfway through. With a movie, I might watch about 1 or 2 minutes too much, and it's turned all of it into a horror movie for my mind. When it's a comedy, it really is that bad. Whereas a book, I can just stop on the word. Nope, not reading a single thing more. I know to stop now. So on one hand, there he is, and he's not allowed to read books. He's been advised not to read books, and I've advised myself not to watch movies. So we're like one and the same thing in two different mediums. But he's allowed to watch movies, and I'm allowed to read books. Not that I can. I'm allowed to, I just can't. And I remember one day, I think I must have got in his head. I felt quite bad. He was watching a movie and he left it afterwards, and he was like, oh, he looked really troubled. He looked really troubled, like I'd given him a real world of consideration to think about. Good guy, real good guy. Well, just a good guy. You can get some funny people in those places and some real good people, some real good people. But there was nothing on him that said he deserved to be there. Nope, not a thing. Not that I saw. Nobody that wears those pajamas can have anything wrong with them in my mind. They're an absolute angel and eat that much food from their parents and not read books because it's just the right thing to do and following wisdom and guidance. Um, so yeah, I did a bit of tidying up today, just a little bit, not a lot. I just don't care about it anymore. I don't care about it. It doesn't matter. I'll sit in this mess for as long as it takes now. I've got to wrap Christmas presents. They probably won't be delivered until Easter. I'm not underestimating. I don't know when Easter is this year. The Greek Easter isn't like the first week in, is it March, April? I don't know when Easter is. But whenever Easter is, the Greek Easter, the Orthodox Easter, the Christian Orthodox Easter follows the moon. And it's like every few years they're the same day. And most of the time they're like a week or two apart. So I don't know when Easter is this year. But that's probably when they'll get all their Christmas presents. And given how insane they've presented to me, that'll be the last present they will ever get from me until I get some sort of apology or reason why they've done what they've done. So I've got family problems at the moment too. But they're so bad, it's not just family problems, it's a question of everybody problems. My friend did the same thing at exactly the same time. He went insane to me at exactly the same time. So it's not just my family conspiracy. Is it a Gabriel's head conspiracy? No. 100% no. I've got the audio recordings. I've got the audio recordings. Oh, do not. I don't want to go there. I told you my dad's OCD. I had a mental health problem and I said, I'm leaving home, Dad. And he said, why? Because I said, I want to leave home. And he said, okay. And, and we understood that. We understood that. And I didn't really contact my dad a lot thereafter. And I don't know how long after, maybe a year and a half, 2 years, he turns up at my door and says, "Ah, I hired a private detective to track you down." That's my dad. That's how fucking OCD my dad is. How much he fucked up my life as a result of the way he manipulated the mental health system to section me. At times I didn't deserve it. And that happens, I think, far too much in this world. To rock up in hospital, to be treated the way we're treated by nurses and expected to believe that that is healing is just unimaginable. Why has Gabriel lost all his hair? Not because of that, no. He lost his hair mostly before that, but it goddamn hasn't helped him regrowing it back quicker. Yeah, I'm going to grow my hair back, all of it. I'm going to have a good set of hair, good lock of hair, good head of hair, good head of hair, good head of hair. And well, all of that stress hasn't helped and it's delayed matters. And it's like, well, I still have the same poor hair as I did when I was about 20. So what are we thinking? Afro? We're thinking afro with the beard in it. Absolutely. How big are we going? Are we going 70? If I get hair, I'm going 70s afro. I don't care. I'm bringing 70s afro back. I will bring 70s afro back and I will rock 70s afro. Might even put RGB lights in it. I will love my hair that much. I will not care. That's for the future. That's how insane I am. This is what I believe as a result of my life, just living in a lot of trust to spirituality and allowing it to prove to me that, hang on a second, these little things that you hear about over here in spirituality, in terms of like spiritual powers, they might actually be true and possible. They might actually be true and possible. And well, this one might be true and possible, and that one might be true and possible. And the other one might be true and possible. And you live your life and you realize that what life consists of isn't science. And then the world crumbles and it's like, well, what is it? And then the world crumbles even more and reality breaks. It's like, oh my God. And then it happens again and again and again and again and again and again and over until it's like, oh my God. Yeah, reality is actually breaking all the time. What is going on? Which says science doesn't know. Therefore, who knows? Probably spirituality. And after 40 years and a delay in growing my hair back quicker, I'm able to look at life and say, given everything I know, based upon my best guess assessment, this, and this is as concrete as physics, computers. What else is concrete in this world? Mathematics, mathematics, and mathematics. What I know as a result of just my life says, if it comes to a bet of me saying computers, maths, or physics, these science, I am going to put all my money on science. Not a chance. It's all going on spirituality. I will bet my bottom dollar for spirituality against science. That is how much I know reality is broken. That is how much I have been able to ascertain what is real of life as a result. And what is real as a result is spirituality. Best way I can label it.